Have you ever stopped and thought about what it looks like when a country decides to, well, completely rebuild itself? Not just patching things up, but laying down a whole new blueprint for the future. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. America's grand infrastructure renaissance.
So let's set the scene. The year is 2025, and all of a sudden, it felt like the entire country became one giant construction project. And we're not talking about filling in a few potholes. No, this was something else entirely. We're talking massive, nation-spanning projects on a scale we haven't seen in generations.
And that, right there, is the big question. Why now? After decades of talking, debating, and delaying, what was the spark that finally lit the fuse on this absolute explosion of building? Let's get into it. We're calling this America's Grand Renaissance, and honestly, that's the perfect name for it. Because this isn't just a handful of random projects, it's a massive, coordinated national effort, a conscious choice to completely reshape the country, both physically and economically, right from the ground up. So, where do you even start with a project this huge? Well, you start with how we get around. If you want to build the future, you've got to be able to connect it first. So let's kick things off with transportation. I want you to just think about this number for a second. 220 miles per hour. That's not some engineer's dream on a whiteboard. That is the new reality. That's how fast the new generation of high-speed trains are zipping across the country, finally connecting America's biggest cities like never before. And they're rolling this out strategically, hitting the most critical economic corridors first. You've got California, connecting the tech world in the north to the creative hubs in the south. You've got Texas, linking its massive, sprawling cities. And then there's the Northeast, a solution that is, frankly, decades overdue for the most crowded part of the country. The goal for all of them? It's simple. Crush travel times, get cars off the road, and completely modernize how we think about getting from A to B. But this isn't just about trains, it's also about totally rethinking the roads we drive on every single day. I mean, for most of our lives, driving has meant traffic jams, potholes, and just waiting for something to break before we fix it. The new approach? It's a 21st century system. It's smart, it's proactive, and it's built for an electric future. So what does a smart highway actually look like in real life? Okay, imagine this. Your electric car is actually gaining charge while you drive, just by being in the right lane. The road itself has sensors that can detect a patch of black ice or a crack that's about to become a pothole, and it can warn you and the maintenance crews instantly. And the best part? A central AI is constantly watching traffic patterns, rerouting cars in real time to stop gridlock before it even has a chance to start. It's a total game changer. Okay, so you've got a country full of high-speed trains and smart electric highways. All of that is going to need a staggering amount of power. And that brings us to the next giant piece of this puzzle, a complete reinvention of the nation's energy grid. The whole strategy here is to tap into the incredible natural resources we already have. We're talking about endless miles of solar farms baking in the Nevada and Arizona deserts. We're talking about huge offshore wind farms catching all that power off the East Coast. But the real genius here is the supergrid. This is a brand new national transmission network that can take all that sunshine from the Southwest and use it to power New York City on a day when the wind isn't blowing. And the end goal for all of this is, well, it's profound. It's about getting to a point of real energy independence. By making our own clean power right here at home, the entire country becomes less vulnerable to the crazy swings of global energy markets. That is a massive win for the economy and for national security. Now, this whole renaissance isn't just about pouring concrete and stringing up power lines. It's also about brain power. And that's where the tech mega campus comes in. So forget everything you think about a typical suburban office park. These are entire cities built for innovation, popping up in places like Austin and the Research Triangle, and they're designed to do one thing: slam the accelerator on innovation, from an idea in a lab to a product on the market. The real magic of these places is how they bring everything together. An idea can be born in a university lab in the morning, get handed off to a startup incubator across the street in the afternoon, and then be tested on a massive, real-world scale, all within the same campus. And by building housing right into the campus, you create this incredible community where people live and breathe innovation 24/7. It just shrinks the time from idea to reality down to almost nothing. Which, of course, brings us right back to that big question we started with. We see the what, the trains, the highways, the tech hubs, but why? Why did all of this happen now? So what lit the match? Well, turns out it wasn't just one thing. It was this powerful mix of different forces all hitting at once. On the one hand, you had a huge domestic need for good-paying jobs. Plus, you had populations moving around the country, putting a strain on old infrastructure. At the exact same time, there was this intense pressure from global competition. Seeing other countries go big made it clear that America couldn't afford to be left behind, and that fueled this big push to bring manufacturing back home. When you step back and look at it, it was truly a perfect storm. Economic needs, geopolitical realities, social demands, they all started pointing in the exact same direction. And for the first time in a long time, there was this national agreement. The time for small, incremental fixes was over. It was time to build big again. So, what does this all add up to? I mean, what does it all mean? Because these projects are so much more than just concrete and steel. They're actually the building blocks of a new American identity for the 21st century. And a huge part of that new identity is about one word: resilience. It's about finally getting ahead of our biggest long-term challenges. We're talking about building huge water pipelines to make the West more drought-proof, replanting massive corridors of trees through the heartland, and building next-generation coastal barriers to protect our cities from bigger storms. This isn't just construction, it's future-proofing an entire nation. And really, this quote just says it all perfectly. This whole movement, this renaissance, it's not about playing catch-up. It's not just fixing what's broken. It is a fundamental shift in what the country aims to be. A clear signal that America is ready to dream big and build big once again. So, what we're looking at here is more than just infrastructure. It really is the blueprint for a new America. The foundation is being poured right now, but the story is really just getting started. And that leaves us with the biggest question of all. What are we going to build